Hey everyone, Brad here from Heavy Diesel Softworks, and today I just wanted to give you all a quick rundown of all the new features in version 1.0.1. First of all, and the most obvious, is that Weapon Master now is extended from the VR template, which means that VR character is extended from motion controller pawn, and the hand components are now split off into their own class, which extend from BP motion controller. This means that the teleport functionality remains from the template, and the grip functionality is also extremely similar. To start off with, I've moved a movement mode toggle into your offhand, and I'll explain main hand and offhand in a second. Your offhand menu button. So you tap that, and you can change your movement mode. There are now 4 movement modes: teleportation, simple movement. Simple movement moves forward in the direction you're facing. Directional movement, which moves the direction on the trackpad. And directional teleportation, which teleports the direction on the trackpad. Now, keeping these things on the controller as a toggle is mostly just there for development purposes. I would recommend, and in the future I will be doing this, moving that into a UI where the player can't just switch around between teleport and stuff like that. Not that it's a bad thing if they can do that, it's just it frees up a button to do other things, mainly to be your main menu for lots of various things. But that's going to be up to you. And I'm not going to, take that away from you if you want there to be a toggle for the different movement modes in your game. All right, so the next thing, we now have right-handed and left-handed. So in the character options, you can set on like the VR character thing, and eventually it will be in the UI when I do the main menu UI. You'll be able to set whether you're right-handed or left-handed. Also, you can have what's called dynamic main-handedness, or dynamic right hand, left hand, or whatever. Basically, your main hand is always going to be the hand that can hold firearms, because firearms use the trackpad for their different functions. That means your offhand will always be used for movement and for picking up objects and for changing your movement mode. So, right now I have dynamic main-handedness turned on. So if I have nothing in my hand and I pick up a firearm, this sets my main hand to be my right hand and my left hand to be my movement hand. Now if I drop the weapon and pick it up with my left hand, now my right hand will handle all my movement, and I can switch my movement mode with my right hand. Right now, this only happens on pickup. In the future, I'm going to make it where the holster, you'll be able to pull out the holster. In the future, the holster is also going to flip sides, depending on if you're right-handed or left-handed. Right now, it stays on the right side, but in the future, that'll change. I wanted to get this version out to you guys so we could start testing it and see what you thought. You don't have to use this dynamic main-handedness. You can have your player just select whether they're right-handed or left-handed, and that will work just fine. Moving on, as you'll notice, the VR templates object identification thing, where the hand kind of moves, changes when you get close enough, remains intact. Picking up objects is now done with the trigger. Dropping there's an option for dropping to either be 1 press of the grip or 2 presses of the grip. Right now I have it on 2 presses, but you could change it to 1 press. It's in the VR character as an option. In the future, I do plan on bringing back the grip to pick up, but since I seem to be the only person that likes that, I brought in the trigger grip for the people that keep asking me to do trigger grip. And I admit there's some things that are better about the trigger grip, like throwing is much, much better when you're using the trigger instead of the grip. But I know there's going to be people that want to use the grip, so probably in the next couple updates I'll bring back an option to use the grip or the trigger to pick things up, which is going to be up to you. Probably another big thing is I've changed a little bit of how the attachments work. You put the attachments on the same. They go on just like they would before. But you'll notice that I can't pull them off. That's because I've changed the menu button on your main hand to be an attachment mode button. Now, the only time you can pull an attachment off is if the attachment mode is active. You can also put them back on when it's active too. The reason I did this is because when combining everything into the right hand, or the trigger, sorry, trying to do the trigger doing so much, I was pulling attachments off constantly when I was trying to manipulate the slide. And that was obviously a problem. I tried a couple workarounds that would, make it prioritize this, but it just never really worked right. So I felt like if I switched the flashlight button to right on the trackpad, which wasn't used before, and made this detachment mode, that sort of solves the problem in an elegant way. The other cool thing is in the near future, I plan on having the detachment mode have like kind of a UI that shows up instead of just the boxes, and sort of tells the player, this is the scope attachment, this is the iron sight attachment, this is the light attachment. Also in the future, some of these attachments you'll be able to move them up and down to like position them. Specifically the sights, they seem to be the main thing that I think really needs to be moved, where you can like set it farther forward or farther back depending on where you want it. But that's coming in the future as well. Let's see if there's anything else that I really need to talk about. I've added some more bullet types in the actual character inventory. I haven't created the bullet. I don't have meshes or anything. I haven't created the actual bullet blueprints, but they're there for people who want more bullet types to use. Let's see. I know there's something I'm forgetting. I don't know if you'll be able to tell, but on the bow, I've added a bunch of rumble events. And y'all have to tell me what you think about it. Right now, the bow, when you knock an arrow and pull back, it progressively rumbles more and more. Y'all might actually be able to hear it rumbling to kind of simulate the string drawback. But I've added rumble events on all the controllers as well. Let's see. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to add. I have not added the snap of the right hand when interacting with the slide in yet. I haven't found a solution that I think works well yet. What I'm planning on doing some more testing is attaching the mesh that's on your controller to the slide, and then actually having it take the position of the slide but take the rotation of the controller, so that it's always facing the right direction, so there's not like a disconnect between it being attached. But I need to do a lot more testing on that before I actually release that out. That I'm thinking about. There's going to be a 1.0.2 it's going to come out before 1.1, because Epic wants me to change a few things before I can release on their store. Not anything functionality wise. It's all basically just it's like a lot of cleanup, making sure everything has the right namespace. They also want me to do a tutorial level, so I'll be making a more advanced tutorial level, and I'll probably be removing these controls from this, and instead having all of the controls and everything be built into one of those long, Epic Room tutorial videos that'll walk people through exactly how everything works. If there's anything else I haven't mentioned, I'll put it in the patch notes. This kind of covers everything, I think, now, but just in case I forget something, I'll let you know. But yeah, this is 1.0.1. I hope you like the changes, and I will see you next time.